What is even going on in this clip? How is Mavuika getting this many hits this fast? Well, buckle up, because today I'm teaching you all about this new Mavuika combo that is making some insane Stygian runs possible. I will cover how strong it is, but most importantly how to do it on PC, mobile and controller. The damage gain is pretty massive, especially for a character that is already so strong, and I want to say that it's not as difficult as it looks. But first, a bit of history. Mavuika has been getting new combos since release. We went from making circles, to jumping, to dashing at the right time, to alternating between dashes, normals and charge attacks, to whatever this is. But it's a really good way to do damage. Going by multipliers alone, compared to just holding your charge attack, it's twice as much damage. And even if we include the burst and compare it to a more advanced combo, it is still a pretty big damage gain. And contrary to popular belief, it can be used, or rather adapted, to reactions like Vaporize and Melt too. Let's first explain how it works. The combo completely cuts the animation of a charge attack with a dash, which is also cut by another charger attack, resulting in this very short time window in which you dish out a ton of damage. When we put it side by side with using charge attacks normally, we can clearly see how much faster it is. And it's not just the extra speed, it also gives us 2 more instances of damage given by the sprint collision. Let's put an overlay on the screen and show you exactly how to do this. The theory applies to mobile and console, but I will have a section where I showcase my inputs there as well. The first and easier step to learn is to just cancel a charge attack without a full attack string. This is what it will look like. Hop on the bike, just stand still, and then you will want to hold attack and dash. One after the other, but almost at the same time. The rhythm that you will want to follow with your inputs is something like 1-2, 1-2. 1 is holding your charge attack, and 2 is dashing. If you do it too slowly, a charge attack into a dash will come out. You don't want this. You want the dash to come out first, and then the charge attack. Yes, I know that is not what we're pressing, but that's what you want to achieve. Once you get that, we can try the next step. For this, you will start a normal charger attack and then release the attack button for a very brief time. Once you do that, you hold it right back. Normally, this wouldn't do anything but make her interrupt the charge attack for a finisher. This flying attack is a finisher, by the way. Now, if you try the dash cancel on the second hold, so you charge attack normally, then really quickly let go and 1-2 another hold into a dash, Mavuika will now cancel the first charge attack with the dash, but that dash in turn will also get cancelled by the other charge attack, resulting in 3 very fast hits, 2 charge attacks and 1 dash. And that's it. Hold, release, hold plus dash with this 1-2 rhythm I've been saying. And after doing this once, you can simply do it again. Mechanically, this is the entire deck. Hold, release, hold plus dash. And this is already enough to get a lot of free damage from a lot of situations, but there is still more to it. While doing this, you will very quickly find a problem. You cannot do it forever. Genshin has a cooldown on how much you can dash, which is especially apparent when dashing back to back. And that is exactly what we're doing here. To make up for this, we need an action that stops us from spamming the dodge key to make a recharge. The most common use will be hitting a charge attack finisher. This can be done right after our second dash or after 1 more charge attack hits. This will be the generally most efficient method. But on a side note, the combo doesn't need to be the same exact thing over and over. We can adapt and use it just as a way to dish out extra damage, and we can also delay our dashes in other ways. For example, if we are in our skill up time, after a double dodge, we can use the burst, and once back, we can do it again. Or if we are in our burst and the skill is available, that can also be the bridge between a couple of dashes and another. Further on, this can simply be a way to deal extra damage while committing very little time to it. There are teams or situations in which Mavuika is not strictly on field for as long as possible, or she's simply waiting for a cooldown or a mechanic from a boss. This is where we can utilize the combo even if we mean to switch right after. I found it great for the current Stygian, where it was exactly what I needed. But back to the most common use of this combo, we're not totally done. We can bring this all even deeper and make it even faster. Generally, we will execute these special dodges twice and then release for a finisher. And that's where we have to wait for the animation of the finisher, about here, to then start with a new sequence. But what if, in the middle of the animation of Mavuika landing, we would quote-unquote pretend to do another charge attack, and with the same tech of dash cancelling it, we would then get out of the finisher animation? Well, weirdly enough, that is possible. So when Mavuika is landing, what I'm doing here is charge attack plus dash during the landing. These are all the small things that bring us to an entire sequence of attacks that goes as follow. Burst, charge attack with a dash cancel twice, into a finisher and then cancelling the finisher with a dash. Another cancel, and then as soon as a normal charge attack hits the enemy, we release for another finisher, giving the dash enough time to recharge. Then repeat the last part once more. If more Nightsoul points or time in the rotation are available, whatever we get is out of burst buff but still extra damage. I know that saying it like this sounds really complicated, but if you master the basic motion of the dash cancel, this will all start sounding much simpler. Plus, even if you don't follow these instructions perfectly, think about this dash cancel as just a way to get charge attacks that hit much faster. You can probably do this in many, if not every Mavuika team. Now, I have to mention that there is one last possible idea we can implement to this combo, which is to avoid the finishers altogether and simply stay in the charge attack animation for longer. But without the extra pause of a finisher, cancelling in the middle of a charge attack for another one is pretty hard to do. If you're willing to experiment, I'll save you the headache and tell you that double clicking while she's spinning will free your hold button without interrupting her charge attacks, allowing you to just stay in them and cancel for more. But once again, this is all much harder to do and I'm not going to cover it in this video. Maybe we can do something on the second channel. But anyway, what is all of this for? Are we really getting more damage out of this? And if so, by how much? The main one I just taught you I found to be more reliable, although technically still not a ceiling of execution. This and similar combos outlined here are however the highest total damage we can get out of Mavuika as of now, surpassing the previous combo of spamming CDN, charged plus dash plus normal, by a decent margin while being much stronger than the more simpler executions. Really, just counting multipliers alone, this combo has more front-loaded damage, which is great for certain buff up time, more hits that we can react, and simply more raw damage than any other things. But of course, all this damage gain is not without a challenge. And if you were wondering, this is all usable for Melt and Vaporize teams. One example for Melt I can share is starting a classic triple charge attack into finisher combo with 2 melts, but then cancelling only the finisher for pretty much another one. This will make every finisher get a melt, and of course this works with a solo cryo unit. For Vaporize instead, the aura will be much easier to manage, so these combos are definitely easier. For people trying to learn and master this, I have 2 very good locations that will help you a ton. This local legend called the Infinitesimal gets staggered non-stop by Mavuika, and since we are in Natlan, we also have Phlogiston to burn and a TP nearby. A great way to spam the combo against an enemy. A better way to start and try it basically forever is one of my statues. This small cliff will give you infinite Phlogiston and also keep you in the same exact spot after a charge attack finisher. Yes, you're not fighting an enemy, but this combo is very reliable in terms of hitting the target even with the dash. Unless it's a really tiny one, which can happen in Abyss or Overworld, but so far it would have worked against every Stygian boss. And of course, as long as Stygian is open, that's a perfect place to test it too. Let's now say that you play on mobile or with a controller. Well, the inputs are the same, so I don't have that much to give you aside from a couple of things. On mobile, you won't be doing this if you play with just your thumbs, or rather it will be very hard. You would prefer laying down your phone a bit tilted and doing it with your index and middle finger most likely. Or if you have one of those gaming phones or extras with buttons on the side, it will be much easier having the dash key there. On controller instead, as long as your settings allow you to easily attack and dodge with 2 different fingers, it's very straightforward. Honestly, I don't play on a controller, but knowing the timing made it very similar to mouse and keyboard, and I found no issues there. But let's yap a bit now. This combo, in my opinion at least, is a glitch or a bug or whatever you want to call it. I'm pretty sure it won't ever be touched by Hoyo, especially not after what happened to Novilet, but this interaction between her dash and charged attack is likely not something the devs intended to happen. Every combo that has evolved out of Mavuika's kit so far was just us changing the order of actions she normally performs for efficiency, but this is a bit different. Our input does not reflect the outcome. I'm pressing 2 charge attacks and then I'm dashing. What comes out is a charge attack into a dash into another charge attack? I have a theory on why this happens. Have you ever noticed that when you use a charge attack on Mavuika, she actually triggers effects related to normal attacks, like triggering Yelan or Sinchu's Burst? When you hold down your key, the game starts in motion as soon as it's pressed and then adapts based on if you're actually holding or if you release the key right after. It doesn't look that obvious, but both a normal attack and a charged attack share the first few frames of animation. That is to make the character more snappy and match your inputs faster. And I think this is where the interaction is born. When we release our key and then press it right after, she would fly off for a charge attack finisher. But instead, when we release and then hold again, we also input a dash. The dash overrides whatever is going on, as it normally does. But then our second charge attack input comes in, and it shouldn't do anything, but it does, and starts another charge attack. And I think the reason is exactly the timing that makes a normal attack held down become a charge attack. Now, I do not have a sandbox mode of the game, and I'm no dev, I'm just guessing what's happening, and I believe it is this. It doesn't matter how and why it works, especially when it's unlikely that they are going to change it. I just found it interesting and wanted to share it. If you have enjoyed this video, please check out more or like and sub to support me and allow me to bring you more content like this one in the future. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.